Hello there, welcome back. So, one issue I've kind of had persistently happen is when it comes to handling my animations for my enemies and, in turn for other NPCs that I'll have in the future, the walk cycle doesn't really seem to spin up entirely 100% of the time. The way I'm doing that now, and if I can go ahead and pop to my enemy movement controller here, I've got this event that fires when my is moving property changes values. All right, just your normal on property changed type of mechanism, except I've got explicit events hooked up to it. And those get changed when the property for my target position is changed based on whether the position is different from the position that the nav agent currently has as its destination, and if it's not being reset back to the player's current position. And there's a few other spots in here where I also set to this, such as if they're moving and the player's really, really close to their target position, we'll flip that they're not moving anymore. And logically, that should work pretty well, but something to do with the way that I'm changing the navigation mesh's destination when doing the look around operations that I have in place, along with changing AI behavior and resetting the position back to the player's position, and then immediately within the same frame setting the position back to some other target location. Just somewhere in the middle, the eventing just gets misconstrued, and certain things just don't go off correctly, and we end up with the enemy just sliding across the ground in their idle animation instead of actually walking. So, what I'm thinking about doing is instead of, I think I'm going to keep the same is moving property, but I'm not going to set it based on the target position. I'm actually going to do a position tracking within this component, and I'm going to fire the event based on some threshold. So I'm going to track the previous frame's position and the current frame's position, and based on that distance, I'm going to determine how fast the player's moving. First off, if they're moving at all, I think we're going to play the walk animation, and I might in turn. Well, no, I think we'll always just start playing the walk animation if they're moving or not, and then above a certain speed threshold, we'll have a secondary step, which will be is running, which will fire another event to tell it that it should start playing the run animation if one exists. And I do want that to be on a I think I want that to be on a model to model basis, because depending on the size of the enemy and some other factors, I might have different thresholds for what speed constitutes walking or running. So that doesn't even necessarily exist on just the normal enemy. That might be in the model information, and I'm not 100% sure on that spot yet. Um, but first off, let's actually just go to a area where I have a moving enemy. So I have my indoor area 1 where I've got my spawn location with my enemy that is grazing. And as part of my test a while back, I switched this to use my skeleton model instead of my rabbit. So I'll be going off of that for the moment. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and put into place this movement tracking thing, and we'll just debug log out and see what kind of values we're getting from our mathematics. Previous position, and let's do an update. Do I want this to be an update, or do I want this to be in fixed update? I'll do this in update for the moment. I think that's fine. So first off, do I want to store speed? Yes, I need to store the speed. Yeah, I'll still have the Boolean value, so I guess I don't need to track the previous speed or anything like that either. And actually, I can go and just expose speed as well. Oh, I'll come back and do that if I need it. I'm not too worried about that at the moment. So let's just say here. So we've got our current speed. Distance. This dot previous position. This dot transform dot position. Divided by time dot delta time. So we'll have our speed in units per second. Meters per second, since a unit is a meter by most Unity 3D verbiage. You know, metric for life, I guess. F imperial system. But, so our speed is going to be that. Our old position, or our previous position rather, is going to be equal to this position. And let's just go ahead and say if not is moving and speed is greater than 0, this moving is true. Else, if is moving and speed is equal to 0. There we go. Let's see, if we are moving and the distance is less than that, that's essentially doing a clamp on the target position. I want to do that, but I'm going to get rid of this is moving setter. And let's just roll through here. So let's go and just move that down here. Let's keep on rolling through. Or is moving. Let's see. Set the destination if our target position is not equal to the nav agent's destination. That's still fine. Let's go ahead and get rid of these. Can move is set to false. Then we're going to update our position to be can move, which will stop our transform position. Should at least. So our is moving will get set to false during our update. Look in place. Once again, our transform position will stop. Same with our look around. Reset movement, the same deal. Yeah, okay. So we'll do that, and at the same time, I did want to debug log my speed so I can kind of get an idea for, you know, what are the value thresholds for this thing for when I want to do a run animation. And first and foremost, we'll just go ahead and observe Mr. Skellington here. So we're getting like a 1.5, 1.4. Oops, I clicked out. Yeah, so he swapped to his idle. He'll start moving again. Let's see some walk animations, buddy. Let's see you try and move. I would like that a lot. His look around appears to have gotten stuck. There he goes. Yeah, it's the problem with his grazing behavior is it's kind of cheese with the nav mesh, because I kind of just pick a position forward by a certain degree and, you know, go for it. Yeah, so I mean that seemed to have been working all right. I'm seeing a lot of zeros down here, and I saw like between like 1 and 2 values roughly. But let's go to something a little more active. So got my skeleton 1 as my key. So let's go ahead and update the enemy information, and we'll make this a patrol behavior instead of a whatchamacallit. Instead of a grazing behavior. So we should get a little bit more action out of that. So first off, let's get out of the way. Let's go ahead and just observe this guy for a quick minute. Yeah, so he's strutting along, he's on his patrol. We'll watch him for a full cycle and see if he, make sure he doesn't drop out of it or anything. Because, I mean, quite frankly, based on the speed, if he hits a certain corner or something, he might still, well, I guess he wouldn't be moving. And, yeah, okay. So that's fine. So let's give him a escape or two, and yeah, so he's in his aggressive chase pattern. He gave that up pretty quickly, and there he starts sliding again. So maybe it's not even an issue of my eventing. Maybe it's something else. What is happening? There he goes. Let's get a pause here. Let's take a look. Because, yeah, so maybe my eventing was actually working correctly, and it's just stupid. So now he flipped into his walk animation. It's when he enters the chase behavior, I think, or something to do with that. Something to do with the transitioning between AI states causes this. Come on, give me a look. See, he doesn't want to follow me either. 100% of the time. It does make me wonder if I put a proper vision perceptor on him, because I don't remember. Well, the perceptor's on the is on the prefab, so the model doesn't have anything to do with that. It makes perfect sense. But his speed is clearly over 0, right? Like, that's not even in question. I guess the problem is that this is moving is actually being toggled in some way that's causing us to not hit our is moving true. So it's like is moving is false, and we get the speed equals 0 transition, and we never set is moving to false. So when we come back around and our speed is greater than 0, it thinks we're already moving, so it never hits this is moving true, which is kind of the problem. Now, there isn't necessarily any harm in... I mean, we'd be firing the event over and over, and the animation controller would be getting that event, but ultimately our animator isn't going to play the same clip it's already playing, so if he's already walking, it's not going to do anything. It's just, useless function calls. It's, over like that. And maybe that's the same problem I was having with my other setup. You know what? I'm gonna try moving this into my fixed update. Let's see if this is just a matter of an order of operations or something. But clearly, I was able to reproduce it pretty quickly with my. Let's see, there he is right away. Extend the range on that perceptor. Jeez. And there he goes. Man, there is something. There's something pretty funny and weird about this. I think in that case he caught one of the corners. Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, chicken butt. Let's just forget this is moving jive. If speed's greater than 0, it's true. Else is moving. It's false. We'll just go from there. Yeah, nothing particularly interesting as far as his animation being jittery or anything like that. Hey, buddy. Hello. Should you give me a chase? See, there he goes again. What is this? Oh, the distance between nodes. That was him transitioning back from the chase behavior. So I wonder if there's a... Well, vector 3.distance should always be giving me a absolute value regardless. So I shouldn't have a negative value in here regardless of the order of the vectors I'm inputting, which I don't. So I wonder if it's even an issue of this. So like maybe it's just an issue with my animation controller and the way I've had this stuff set up. So let's look at my legacy animation controller. I've got my play idle, and this should be the only point where my idle animation is taking place. Either after attack and take damage, which are both play once. Play animation. So if we're not already playing that, then we'll crossfade to that. Are we transitioning back and forth so fast that we're in our walk? It flips back to like idle because the speed is 0, and then it flips back to it immediately. But because we haven't actually finished, because the crossfade is only just started to occur and the current animation clip hasn't changed yet, we never see that second hit. Like here's a 0, right? So here's a 0 where he stopped. And there's our false from our speed check. And there's a true from our speed check. goes. All right. What's up? So there's our walk. There's our idle 3. Is that the deal? Is that like I wish this came with a timestamp on it by default. That's so annoying. Yeah, movement controller start moving, hit walk. Movement controller stop moving was false. What I need to do is I need to grab the current animation as well. Which I guess I have right here already because I haven't bothered to clean this up. So let's go. Let's do one of those. So I don't need to be logging the speed every single time, I don't think. Like, I think that's okay. Yeah, so nothing to walk, walk to idle, and then walk to walk. All right, so, and we clearly there had a walk to idle 3. Idle 3 to walk. So we should be playing walk right now. However, clearly he's in his idle position. This is super janky. He's playing idle 3, allegedly. Well, no, yeah, he is playing idle. That's the problem. We crossfaded to walk. The animation object didn't actually pick that up. Yeah. Do I need to put a delay on this? Alright, so I'll be back in a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do a little research on this part. Alright, so I've been doing a little bit of fiddling, so welcome back. But it seems to have been an issue with the way the animation was, or rather the animation component rather, was having its clips switch way too frequently. So once I took out the check to see if the animation was already playing, like, it doesn't seem to really have any issues. And I'm pleasantly surprised to find that calling animation play over and over again has not really had any kind of repercussions. I half expected it to cause all sorts of shenanigans, like it trying to start the animation over and over. And sorry if the audio quality takes a bit of a dip right now. I'm not sure if the weather is going to pick up, but it just started pouring outside. But essentially, I just took out this check to see if the animation was already playing before we go to play the new animation. And that seems to have resolved everything. So I can only chalk it up to a timing issue with the speed in which we're toggling back and forth between different animations. So with that, thank you for watching this little quick part, and I will catch you guys next time.